Hello.
Happy Pride! It's June.
That too. Get in the car. We're on a journey to King's Cross, a Harry Potter book podcast. And we...
So did he get on the train?
No, we're going to King's Cross. We're not
We
at
missed the
King's
train.
Cross. No, we didn't meet...
We missed the train.
Do I look like a second-year Harry Potter? We're on our way. It is a journey to King's Cross.
Nah, second year Harry Potter didn't have a beard.
That's why I said, do I look like him?
And I said no.
Exactly my point.
I think he hates me today.
No, I feel like you're being particularly obtuse.
Maybe we should get on with the show.
They're being very sassy.
Fine, we can get on with the show. It's not like that's why everybody's here anyway.
Chapter 14 this time.
Snape's
Grudge.
And we get a nice picture of what looks like a very balding Snape. Like, all of his hair is on the back half of his head. You taking a look at it,
He doesn't look like a slime ball.
He looks like he's balding.
I think it might just be the angle of his face, but yeah, it does kind of look like he's balding.
He looks so freaking, like, weird in this picture. He's like, aha, victory. Like, he's so fucking...
Pretentiously stabbing a piece of paper with his wand.
And it could be like the angles, but he looks very Asian too.
He's
which
very,
is
very
not
extra.
not what I would imagine.
I mean, there isn't really any indication that he's not Asian. Though I feel like some of the more harsher descriptions of him would be kind of racist if he was.
Yeah.
Snape's just a fun character, isn't he? Anyway, of course we...
Fun to make fun of.
Oh, man. We do start off with the day after and stuff, like, no, technically the day after, because everybody stayed up until the crack of dawn, basically.
They didn't go to bed until after midnight.
They didn't go to bed at all!
So, it's morning.
It's dawn!
It's dawn. Same night, dawn.
Would that be today, tomorrow, yesterday?
It's about 12 hours after the party that they stayed up all night for.
That'll work.
Clear, concise, to the point.
Yeah.
Fat Lady's back, right?
Yeah, Fat Lady's back, Sir Cadogan got fired, and Neville's no longer allowed to know what the passwords are. Though, depending on how often we change it, I don't really know how much of a punishment that actually is.
Does that mean they have to go up to the portrait and be like, the password? So that Neville can't hear?
To be fair, I think Harry gives him the password later on, so I don't think it's like... I don't really know how well they're holding to that, to be perfectly
It's also
honest.
not a very good, setup.
In general.
Just don't let him know what the future passwords are. He only gets them as you go. And he's not allowed to write it down.
He'll probably have an easier time with Fat Lady back, because she changes the password, once a quarter?
Depending on the book, yeah.
I mean, to be fair, she might change it more frequently with Sirius on the loose.
I mean, considering they already had a security issue to begin with, it wouldn't necessarily be outside of the realm of possibilities.
Yeah, but didn't he have the password initially, and she still wouldn't let him in?
No.
And that's why he went at her with the knife?
No, he didn't have the password.
Not
and
with
she
her.
wouldn't let him in.
Yeah.
And then with Sir Cadogan, he had the password.
And
He let him in
was
because...
let in.
Come on in, my dear fellow.
Because he intentionally keeps to the rules as written, not necessarily taking into consideration dangers.
That is lawfully
Nobody
chaotic.
told him.
I would actually...
Follow the letter of the law to the letter.
Lawful neutral,
That'd be
technically.
lawful.
Neutral. You follow the law as
Yeah.
it is.
The law is the law. You don't think about the good of the people. The law says know the password, you let him in.
I had seen this video. It's not... You're not... It's different from chaotic lawful, because... What was it? Chaotic?
There is no chaotic lawful.
Or what was the other one? I don't know. I would have to find the video.
It's
don't worry about
good,
it. Don't
neutral,
get on the tangent.
evil.
It was a video I saw making a fun of a class that apparently doesn't exist. That's why I was joking about it.
Yeah, that's probably... It doesn't exist, which is why you confuse the other two people.
Chaotic lawful doesn't exist. Be interesting, though. follow the law.
Well, chaos and lawful are the two opposite sides of the spectrum, just like good and evil are the two opposite sides of the spectrum.
That's why we're saying it can't exist, but it'd be hilarious if it somehow
Now, if you'd
existed.
said lawful stupid, that would have made more sense, because, or, chaotic stupid, or something along those lines, which is a joke one that's a little bit more common online. You need to spend some more time on the internet, babe. Stop touching so much grass.
I like my grass.
Yeah, okay, if you say so.
It's real grass. It feels nice under my feet.
And it smells like bubblegum. Just kidding. That smells awful. It smells like something that's not grass.
Alright, so, we have the trolls now
We were
monitoring
talking about
everything.
real grass.
Oh, I should touch some grass then, apparently.
I like my AstroTurf, thank you very much.
I'm not allergic to AstroTurf.
Anyway, we get the trolls being brought in, and we have a. I'm thoroughly convinced this is a dick joke because they're comparing the size of their clubs. We have Flitwick talking about trying to get the doors to recognize Sirius Black's face. I have no idea how that works. And Ron becoming an instant celebrity. Apparently, everybody's bothering him about the story and everything.
I mean, if someone could get the doors to recognize the face, it would be Flitwick.
I could think of weird things to happen in Hogwarts. Like, say somebody's head mysteriously floating around for some weird reason. Oh, wait. That's later on in the book.
But that doesn't happen in Hogwarts.
That's, yeah. But as we're going through everything, Ron's talking about all this other stuff, telling the story and stuff along those lines. We already went over it, but we get the Neville disgrace thing and stuff along those lines, as well as actually getting the Howler, which is a nice little callback to Book 1, but I also think this is technically the last...
Book 2.
Oh, right, yeah, Book 2. But I think this is the last time we get a mention of the Howler, I want to think.
So. I'll look it up, but I feel
I think there might have been a mention of it in Book 4 with Hermione getting, pelted with, hate mail and stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't think she gets a Howler. I think this is the last time somebody gets a Howler, but nobody, it's not the last time it's mentioned.
I feel like somebody gets a Howler at some point.
Do you remember?
We can look it up. I'm going to look it up.
I am looking up the Howlers.
Anyway, sadly, should we pause to and turn the AC off or something?
Just keep talking, I'll go turn it off.
Yeah, sorry about the AC, folks, and stuff. We honestly thought, temperature-wise we'd be good at this point in time, but we didn't really bring it up. And we, of course, start moving on a little bit and stuff along those lines. Hagrid, of course, sends a letter to Harry and stuff about actually showing up and talking things out. And, of course, Ron is, super excited and only thinks about himself. And it's like, Hagrid and all that other stuff.
And Hagrid thoroughly chews them out, as much as Hagrid can, for abandoning their friend.
To be fair, the comment he makes and stuff along those lines is people can be a little weird about their pets. The person whose pet just got eaten might be a little weird about his pet being eaten.
It says here part of the Order of the Phoenix.
It also says Hermione did get a few Howlers.
Yeah.
I don't think she's actually given we don't see it.
She doesn't. They don't actively read them out.
No, so it's more of she got one instead of
Petunia
that's
gets
what I'm.
Petunia gets a Howler from Dumbledore.
Right.
Wait,
Remember my last. Yeah.
Yep. Order of the Phoenix. Well, this is an interesting note. For the Howler scene, Julie Walters had to scream so loud that she almost lost her voice at the end of the day. Molly.
Oh, wow.
Oh, jeez.
It doesn't feel like it's that intense, but to be perfectly honest, they could have toned her volume down for the movie. But, yeah, we do get the letter from Hagrid and everything, and, 2 seconds afterwards and stuff, basically, they're, Ron's already super excited about the idea of retelling the dang story. Hagrid's just getting ready for his Buckbeak's case and stuff along those lines. We get another ferret being eaten. the girls were, of course, very much on Hermione's side on this one in terms of the pet placement and everything. And I'd honestly kind of forgotten that they don't just take Hagrid at his word. They still kind of give Hermione the cold shoulder throughout the course of this chapter, basically.
We also were skipping over some stuff. We mentioned this while we were listening to the chapter. Whose bright idea was it to make Hagrid drag a potentially violent, dangerous creature all the way to London, let alone allow him to have it on the night bus? But, like, seriously, you're gonna make him take it to London? Muggle-infested London? What about the Statue of Secrecy with magical creatures? How are you gonna hide fucking Buckbeak?
Muggles only see what they want to see.
Yeah, but you poke them with a stick, they feel. Anyway, we did mention I think Kimmy made a mention of it and everything, that they were probably hoping something bad would happen, so they'd have even more of an excuse to kill the animal, to be perfectly honest.
I did mention that, yes.
So, of course, yeah, so, like, it's one of those, like, little things where it's just sort of like, you couldn't have the hearing in, like, any place that's a little less muggly, I suppose.
Or, like, leave Buckbeak there. He's an animal. He's not going to be able to talk.
He doesn't really... Yeah, does he really even need to be part of the actual...
Unless you're going to fulfill the sentence right then and there, no.
Yeah. Which they don't. They actually really sweetly wait until the end of the frickin' year in order to actually do anything about that. Like, all important things.
Another month and a half away. Or something.
I mean, fair. We, of course, get the breakout again, where Harry is, of course, decided to head back out in the invisibility cloak, but this time with just Ron specifically. I love how he's, like, so nervous around Hermione and everything that he's like, I'm going to avoid eye contact, and I'm going to pretend to be going back where I belong.
Well, Hermione literally threatened to tell McGonagall on him. Like,
about the map specifically.
Yeah. Like, wow, Hermione, what a fucking snitch.
You've already snitched on me once this year for something that wasn't my fault. What's to say you won't snitch on me for something that I'm actually doing?
But also, like, damn. Like, I know you're fighting, but that's just petty. She's not wrong, of course.
I mean, actually, she's completely wrong, because there is no danger to Harry whatsoever. The only person that's in danger is a rat.
Okay, yeah, but she doesn't know that.
As far as they are aware.
I'm just saying that if we're going to actually, like, put things at face value and stuff along those things, this is like the 1 year where Harry's danger threats are only because Harry's incapable of, staying where he's supposed to.
I don't go looking for trouble, Professor. Trouble usually finds me.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Likely story, Harry.
We do, of course, have Neville being incapable of taking a hint.
Harry also can't just straight up tell him, like, bro, I don't want to hang. Or telling a good lie.
Yeah. Well, to be perfectly honest, Harry's never been that great at actually coming up with lies on the spot. He's more of I gotta plan this stuff out in advance. But as an individual, I'd feel a little annoyed that Neville wants to hang out with me now that he can't go to Hogsmeade anymore after I couldn't go to Hogsmeade and nobody giving me...
Wasn't there a comment Harry makes, or the narration makes, that Neville's like, oh, I forgot you weren't going. Uh-huh, right.
I think it explicitly states that Neville's basically following him. Because, like, Harry's trying to disappear, and Neville is legitimately tailing his butt.
Oh, I've already finished my paper. Great, you can help me. I left it in the... I was like, okay, let's go to the library. Oops, I left it behind. You wait here, Neville. I'll go get it.
Peace!
Poor Neville.
I don't feel bad for Neville in this scenario. Not because I know for a fact he didn't lose. Hint? I'm irritated with him for the fact that Neville only seeks out Harry after it's only the two of them that don't get to go to Hogsmeade. You know what I mean? If you wanted to hang out with Harry and stuff along those lines, you had every opportunity. You only want to hang out with him now because there's nobody else to hang out with your own age, because you and him are the only two people. You know what I mean?
They do make
it's really awkward Look, man, Ron and Harry are so buddy-buddy, it's hard for anybody else to butt in.
That's beside the point. I seriously doubt they're married and attached to the hip and stuff along those lines. This is one of the rare occasions where Neville actually seems to want to hang out with him. And as a person, if I was in Harry's situation, I'd be like, oh, cool. You want to hang out with me now that you've got no choice. I'd be a little offended, to be perfectly honest, more than anything else. You know what I mean? Like, even if Harry wasn't breaking the rules and stuff along those lines, I still think Harry'd probably not want to hang out with them on that grounds alone. Wow, you only want to hang out with me because you got no other choice. Gee, great.
I feel like you're reading way too much into this, Mitch.
I might have some bias on that a little bit, having grown up not having a whole lot of friends. What's
Valid.
your point? But yeah, I do find that Snape being there as well should have also put Harry on a little bit more high alert when it comes to thinking of ways of getting back into the school without necessarily causing any issues.
Yeah, or even like Harry's like hauling ass at that point because like, oh, Malfoy's gonna tell someone.
Yeah, what
and
gets
just,
me
like, really
is that
ahead,
Malfoy was capable of getting back, finding Snape, and Snape was capable of getting back to the frickin' spot where Harry was coming in. Honestly, I feel like even if it takes longer to do it the way Harry did it and stuff, it should have taken Malfoy a bit more time to find Snape to get back to the corridor in question.
Snape's always in the same place.
It's like they have a timer. My Malfoy senses are tingling. He must need help.
Yes. Yeah.
Malfoy hasn't complained to me in too long.
2 minutes. Something's wrong.
I feel like Harry probably should have like put his foot down and just sort of like, you don't have any like what am I getting charged with? What am I in trouble for? I want you to directly accuse me before I go into your frickin' office because we both know you hate me.
Yeah, he could have been like, you should be going to my head of house.
Yeah.
But also,
I
think it's discipline with your teachers and respect with your teachers is very different in England. Also,
it has to be perfectly
also,
honest.
Harry's not thinking. He's guilty. He's not quick on his feet when he's guilty.
Shit, I've been caught. I wasn't doing anything.
And he was distracted trying to get the mud off his
Here,
hands.
I need to take this.
Mitchell's gonna step out for a minute, so we gotta jump back to before Harry went to Hogsmeade. And finally shakes Neville off by letting him into the common room.
Oh, is that what it was?
Well, that's where we left. We were there,
And how
and
did he shake him off again? Oh, he left his bag in the library?
Yeah.
Somebody forgot to put their car away.
The Hogwarts, not the Hogwarts, the Warhog?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the middle of the yard.
Its battery is dead. I was charging it.
At night.
I'm going to go do it.
Where somebody could steal it.
It's hard to steal it without a battery.
I mean, yeah, but
I'm pretty confident if somebody's confident enough and they want it, they could easily snag that.
Well, I was charging up the battery, and then I was going to go do it.
All right. My grandfather being concerned about my child's toy. That is expensive as heck.
Definitely not a drivable toddler-sized Warhog.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely not.
For all you out there who don't know what we're talking about, it's a Halo vehicle, not an actual Warhog. It's not Pumbaa.
I don't know if my wife would really complain about the idea of a drivable Pumbaa around the front yard.
Listen, as long as it goes, as you're running into battle to fight the hyenas, hell yeah.
And it has a little Timon on it.
That'd be adorable, actually.
And it's got little bug fuzzy dice.
Yeah. Okay, so we were just starting to say that we had skipped over the entire Hogsmeade trip.
To be perfectly honest, there really isn't anything super interesting about that because we literally jump from them hanging out to them going and getting caught by freaking Malfoy, Crabbe, and Goyle.
I mean, to be fair, I feel like going to the post office is pretty fucking mundane.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, seeing a bunch of different types of owls is pretty cool. But also, you literally have an owlry at Hogwarts and can look at everybody else's owls.
Yeah, you can use school owls basically from the sounds of it and everything. So it's just like this is completely pointless for any Hogwarts student. We as Muggles would find this place fascinating. Actually, like living in the world itself, you'd think this would be kind of a dull concept.
That's probably why Harry thought it was pretty cool.
Fair enough. They do end up going to the Shrieking Shack, which of course where Malfoy
the most haunted place in Britain. You know, aside from Hogwarts, with actual ghosts.
I don't understand why they call it the most haunted place when I feel like if you could actually see the ghosts.
Of haunted, I guess.
Must be spooky.
I would argue it's the most violently haunted, if anything.
Yeah.
Even though we know the reality.
Ghosts
not
don't
haunted
dare go
now.
there.
Yeah, it's not haunted at all. It's got a werewolf problem. Its problem is there's no werewolf in it anymore.
Yeah.
Whoa. Oh yeah, because they don't need to. There's a new potion out now.
Definitely. But of course, you know, Malfoy's got to cause some shit already and stuff along those lines. I really wish I could hear that great Harry moron trying to defend himself. I'm just sort of thinking to myself, you know what? I find what Harry does to him completely and totally justified in this scene.
It's like
Mud,
payback for everything.
like muck and like green slime or whatever this crap is, just throwing it at them basically, getting it into his eyes and shit. Like, valid crash out, Harry. I mean, I know it screws you over because when you trip one of the bastards and stuff, you end up revealing that you're there.
It's almost as valid as in the movie when Hermione runs up, "You foul, evil, slimy little cockroach!" Bam!
I gotta be honest, one of the times I feel like the movie's definitely improved is Hermione just full out decking his ass.
And then just looking back, that felt good.
I like how later on Harry's like, "Nice punch, thanks." Like they know it was an awesome move on there, and even in hindsight. I have to admit, though, I don't know if I would prefer the movie's version of the reveal of the Marauders. You know, wait, no, I don't think Remus ever realizes that he... Wait, no, he does realize it.
Harry doesn't get caught coming out of the Hogsmeade trip.
He's
looking...
Up he's hunting for
No, he's up
Peter.
late night just studying it.
No, he finds Peter on the map. And he goes into the school and gets caught out of bounds past his curfew and everything by Snape.
No, he was in the school.
Out of bounds after curfew.
Not in his dorm, but he
was in the school when he gets caught.
Yeah, because that was when you had the portrait going, "Put that bloody light out!"
Yeah, towards, Alan Rickman.
Yeah. And
then they have the whole conversation there about it.
And that's when... Snape was trying to take it back, and Remus is like, "Nevertheless, I'm still going to check it out."
I don't know which, like, the fact that Harry gets away with messing with Malfoy, Crabbe, and Goyle without any serious issues, and gets caught in the hallway basically looking out for Peter Pettigrew. I do like that line though, where he just sort of like looks at him and he's just sort of like, "The map's broken," and he's like, "What do you mean?" And he's just sort of like, "Well, I saw a name on there that couldn't possibly be there."
No, I saw Peter Pettigrew on there.
Yeah.
And Lupin's like...
Yeah, that's not possible. And that sort of, like, expression where it's just sort of like...
I can just imagine in his brain, like...
Glitch.
Like, I just can imagine him twitching, like...
I feel like in that moment of time and everything, he realizes that that the Sirius Black is an innocent man. And at that point, he's already planning how he's going to actually pull this shit off.
I feel like that's definitely where the movie's kind of one up a little bit in the book. Only a little bit, because I do feel like we miss out again on, like, the Malfoy...
I don't know.
Harassing Malfoy back.
We do get Malfoy getting harassed.
Yeah,
it's
but
just
not
that
like this specific.
He gets a snowball to the face.
Not nearly as menacing. Hermione's more in on it, though.
No,
she
he
found
does
it
get
hilarious.
mud in the movie. He gets mud, too.
Yeah. He grabs one of them by the legs and starts pulling them towards the house to really add to the ghost effect. Malfoy.
Yeah, then he starts tugging on their hat and hair.
Because even Ron's kind of confused. He's like, "What the hell is going on?" I think they fused the two trips to Hogsmeade together for that because Hermione's like happy to see him and everything and stuff. Because she's like, at that point, she's already more chill about breaking the rules to begin with.
Because I think, yeah, Harry had his cloak the whole time he was in Hogsmeade. He went to the broomsticks because he was trailing everyone, heard about Sirius, ran off, they caught up with him at the Shrieking Shack, and then, like,
he reveals,
consoled him, and then, you know, Malfoy.
I'm gonna kill him, basically. Harry was out for blood in this book.
Yeah.
But, yeah, there are, like, I'm gonna be honest with you, Harry investigating the map and trailing after Peter Pettigrew, I feel is a much more interesting idea. The problem being is it does kind of create a couple of plot holes in a sense as to why the twins never saw Peter Pettigrew on that map and weren't like asked. Like I feel like if somebody was hanging out in your brother's bed, I feel like you'd be teasing.
On Reddit a few times.
In the book and stuff along those lines, I feel the implication is you're not detected if you're in an animagus form. Because Harry never discovers Rita Skeeter while she's in her form on the map during any of the actual occasions that she's running around. So I think the boys would have put that into, the boys would have put their names down as things, you can't detect an animagus. You know what I mean? Because they wouldn't want to get caught by their own map if somebody else got the map from them.
The movies don't outright state one way or the other, but they almost kind of lead you down that road too, though, where you can't be caught as an animagus because remember his name and footprints just disappear.
No, he was already. If you remember the scene specifically. Harry's looking at the map, sees Peter Pettigrew, sees him coming directly at him. He's freaking out. He's got his wand out and everything. And then it slowly walks around him. So he's in animagus form the entire time.
Oh, that's right.
And Harry's turning towards where he should be seeing because he's looking directly forward.
And
he's
his freak out
why is it?
That's where he meets
why is it not here? There should be a person standing in front of me, and that's why he says the map is broken.
I haven't seen Prisoner of Azkaban in a hot minute, so I've forgotten a lot of the littler details.
Yet you're looking at me like I'm crazy half the damn time.
I mean, you are.
That's beside the point. Anyway, we do have the full confrontation finally with Harry running all the way back and everything. I want to know how the time lapse works on this. I really do feel like Harry should have been able to make some distance between him and the witch before he gets caught. I feel like it would have been made more sense if Snape intercepted him on his way back to the dormitory or something.
Just checked the map before he exited the hump.
And, just wear your cloak.
Yeah, I made a comment about that during this. Harry's not really thinking straight ahead and everything, because as far as he knows at this point in time, Dumbledore's the only one who knows he has the cloak.
Yeah.
And Dumbledore has kind of given him a pass, so he would be like, well, obviously Snape wouldn't know about it, so why the fuck would I not just keep the damn thing on and move myself through the actual school that way? Or at least get to some place obscure where me coming out of wouldn't be too unheard of.
Like a bathroom.
Yeah. I made a mention about the idea of having the map out in the bathroom, basically, to check to make sure nobody's heading in your direction.
So, I realized something just now. Because we were also questioning of, was Rowling writing Snape as a legilimate, being able to use... Because he's not like a natural can always read your thoughts. He has to actually actively use it, kind of thing. Not like the one chick from fucking Fantastic Beasts who just always he has to be eye contact and whatever to use it. I wonder if he's just when he passively uses it against Harry, it doesn't work because he's wearing glasses. But I wonder if throughout this, he's only kind of passively using it because he can't outright use it. And of course, we talked about possibly she didn't have it fully thought out yet.
Yep.
That's the reason why he came back to the witch statue specifically, instead of, going to the Great Hall entrance or something, is because he knew that it was a passage, because he saw in Harry's head, it is a passageway, but it did not close enough to think about how it was a passageway, how it worked. And that's why he can't also just be like, he still has to get physical evidence. He can't just go around saying, yeah, I'm reading the minds of students. Because, like...
Part of me also wondered if he knew that it was a passage from school, from when he was in...
I believe if he had suspected it was a passage before
he would have
Harry,
figured it out by now.
No, I feel like he would have had it locked up just to be on the safe side.
Yeah, he would have made sure he would have told the Dumbledore to move the statue, or put some kind of freezing charm on it or something.
Mm.
Or like a activator charm on it anytime somebody tried to use it. But
unless there's one small reason I would think that he wouldn't close that door. He explicitly states later on when he catches Sirius that he hoped he would be the one to catch him. So having an entrance into the school that he knew about,
come through there,
and
maybe that could also be why he was patrolling that area too. Sirius is now coming twice, so maybe he's hoping third time's charm. Sirius is gonna come through.
I didn't think that this statue was anywhere near the dungeons.
No, it isn't.
No, it's in the third floor.
It's third floor. I'm pretty confident it was third floor corridor.
Which is wild if you think about it. It's a third floor corridor that leads to outside of Hogwarts. Like, damn.
It's magic.
I mean, when you actually take the passage in Hogwarts Legacy, you have to climb several stairs and make some crazy jumps.
So you're probably going down 3 flights.
It takes a minute to get through, but definitely should be faster than going to Hogsmeade. Like, the long way round.
The only thing I can think of is this thing's got, like, curving all around certain things in order to get there. That's the only reason I can think that it would take take him so much longer compared to Malfoy.
Yeah, but Malfoy still has to cross all of Hogwarts grounds.
But he gets a straight shot. That's why I said it has to curve, in order to avoid underground things in order to get there. What gets me is why it even exists to begin with. Like, why the fuck is there a secret passage from Hogsmeade?
Yeah, no, even thinking about the Hogwarts Legacy map, Hogsmeade it's still faster to go through the secret tunnel into Hogsmeade.
Malfoy's got some way to get around faster. He can fast travel.
It's possible that the reason why there are secret escape routes out of Hogwarts is, what if by some chance Hogwarts is a castle? At some point, if it becomes under siege and you need to escape, you have to have a bolt hole, and that's why these passages lead outside of Hogwarts. Come on, Mitch. Classic medieval architecture here.
Why this place specifically, though? That's the thing that
in the castle?
Or it leads to Honeydukes.
Why Honeydukes specifically? If it was
that's just what's there now?
Well, and Honeydukes itself is a store now. But if it was just like a random house, it makes even less sense. If it was like a public place or something along those lines, like a local square or something along those lines, I feel like it would make some semblance more sense. Well, or maybe a police station. Like some
maybe it was
place. There's no indication whatsoever,
it
one way or the other. We could
nothing.
spitball that.
Yeah. It could have just been like a cave at some point, and then they built a town over it. Or it's very possible that if it was always, like, let's say somebody's house, that was a safe house. It was somebody who was very trusted to guard it at the time.
That doesn't seem like a very good long-term plan,
also,
because nobody knows
tunnel.
who's going to open that place originally.
Yeah.
I want to know how come Zonko's people don't even know it exists.
Honeydukes?
Yeah, you'd think if Honeydukes, if you owned a place and there's a trap door, basically,
there's probably
you can't tell me somebody wouldn't be
perception filter. There's probably a perception filter on the trap door.
It's magic.
Doctor Who, come on.
Also, think about this. How is one of the tunnels outside of Hogwarts lead into a fucking bar?
Bar?
Yeah, in the seventh book, Ariana's portrait.
That portrait part is based off of the Room of Requirement and everything. That's a whole nother kettle of fish.
But they did mention that was the passageway that had been previously caved in, and it changed. It's very magic.
I still feel like the bar makes more sense then
It makes less sense.
Then
Imagine if your castle's under siege and you pop out in a bar.
nobody's gonna
With all
expect
that-
your people in charge of a castle to be in a freaking rundown bar of all
Except
places.
for half the people who are sieging the castle are gonna go visit the bar.
To be
And they're gonna
perfectly
be there and go be like, "You're supposed to be in the
okay,
castle."
okay. We're gonna do this. I'm gonna throw a monkey wrench into this whole thing. All right, this castle was built before anything else and stuff along those lines, right? We have no idea exactly when frickin' what's
Honeydews?
like not honeydews, just
Hogsmeade?
Hogsmeade in general was originally made.
Right.
So as far as we're aware, the school got made first. So any
Theoretically.
exits were made when the castle was originally created.
Uh-huh.
Theoretically. Why the fuck would they be okay with just building houses and buildings on top of the freaking emergency exits?
Magic. Also, you can't.
Your excuses are,
Here's the-
are unconvincing.
Here's the other thing. Maybe they can't be like, "Oh yeah, you can't build a house here specifically because reasons." Or maybe by the time it was built, everyone was dead, so you didn't know there was a secret entrance there.
I don't think you understand how exits and entrances work. Because if I'm going to build a freaking building, I'm not going to put it over top of a freaking cave. That seems kind of weird. I'd fill it in at least.
It became a basement.
It makes no sense.
Okay,
It makes absolutely no
Actually,
sense.
If
Hold
an
on.
underground cave is a perfect place to put a basement.
Hold on.
No, it doesn't.
Things shift.
Also,
We have found-
magic.
We have found buried shipwrecks underneath New York City and in a field in, I think it's Missouri or
They
Mississippi.
just found a fully intact whale skeleton in the Sahara Desert.
That. Okay.
Somebody just, I think God's just fucking with people at this point.
I mean, if you know, a flood,
I mean, if I,
a flood event. It's just imagine just swimming around as a whale,
all I
and then
can
all
think,
of a sudden you're stranded on land because the water went away. Like, damn. Shit,
Okay.
son.
I
It's gotta
feel
suck.
we're grasping at straws here, and I am thoroughly convinced
My
that this was
explanation is the best explanation because magic.
holes. It has nothing but holes in it.
We this is the whole point of the series.
I
This
thought the
book
whole-
series is nothing but holes.
And we're trying to pour
No,
more.
it's about a
Might as
mystery.
well call
Every
me-
book is a mystery
You
novel.
might as well call me Stanley Yelnats, because that's how many holes are in this book.
You know
She's
that.
digging holes.
No, J.K. Rowling is Stanley Yelnats because she keeps making holes. You aren't
No.
making any holes.
Actually,
You're
she's
pointing out the
She's
holes.
Camp Yellow Lake, so
I thought we were digging. I thought we were poking holes in this too. I thought that was the point of this.
Yeah.
We're not digging them. We're not making them. We're poking holes.
we're not poking holes. The holes existed. We
We're just-
fell into them.
Semantics.
We're making a map of the holes.
So what does that make you, a marauder?
Yeah, might as well be.
Honorary fifth member of the Marauders.
And 6th and 7th,
All three of us.
all three of us.
Fair enough. What are our names, though, Marauders? We got to come up with some catchy teenage name that we carry on into our adulthood.
Shit, man, I don't know.
All right, we'll get back to you people on our Marauder names later. But I do have to admit, I feel like Harry's self-control in these moments is, like, amazing, all the way up until the point his dad gets mentioned. Your saintly father and his friends played a highly amusing joke. To be honest, even though I know that's not what happened, I can see him thinking that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
He would have figured any joke that's serious would
One of
do.
them pulled it. They
were all in.
They're
on
all
it.
in on it. I can understand his mindset, and I have to admit, in this moment in time, is one of the rare occasions I consider Snape technically in the right.
I think Sirius brings it up. He's like, he's like, James probably would have talked me out of it. I feel like was a word that came up when he talked about or when James found out. He was like, well, damn, that was dumb, Sirius.
It's one of the rare occasions where James is actually
James got the brain
sensible
cell.
one. It's usually Remus's, but for this brief period of time, it was James's.
Yeah, Remus was a werewolf. He can't have the brain
yeah.
cell. He's a
Yeah,
werewolf.
There's no brain
full,
cell when
full
you're-
dog mode on his end. We got a rat and 2 dogs. The only person that's thinking is the deer. Oh dear. But
Boo.
I do find that Snape knows that this has got to be Harry's berserk button is talking shit about his dad at this point.
Of course it is.
It's anybody's berserk button.
Are you kidding me? You can talk shit about my dad all you fucking damn well please.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna
same.
complain.
I'd grab the popcorn and be like, go on.
Tell me more. I want to know how much of an asshole my dad was.
But also, I'm pretty sure he's had some rage moments with Snape talking about his dad before.
Yeah.
To be perfectly honest, with the way Snape bullies him on a regular basis, it's a wonder he, like, just dealing with Snape doesn't piss him off. I'm gonna be honest with you, the fact that Harry acts so much like a normal student to Snape in this moment is insane to me. I feel that the second Snape starts causing shit and stuff along those lines without actually getting him into trouble.
Take me to McGonagall. I'm not dealing with you. Fuck you.
Yeah, that would have been my first
like,
call right
oh,
there. I'm terribly sorry, but last time I checked, you're not my head of house, and you didn't catch me doing anything wrong. So if you got an issue, we need McGonagall.
Also,
because if McGonagall's there, he's got to be nice or at least professional.
Honestly,
And the hippies in the background are going, yeah, stick it to the man.
Honestly, even then, if I was Harry having to deal with Snape at all, I'd be like, no, I need a third party in this situation. I already know that you hate my dad, and you also hate me. So third party, please.
I request my lawyer.
I need a lawyer. Yeah.
McGonagall would come in and be like,
You gotta bring me my Miranda rights.
I really do feel like after a certain point in time, I know I'm not Harry, but after a certain point in time, I would just shut the fuck up with Snape. Just be like, whatever. Just rant and rave as much as you want. Get it out of your fucking system, but I am not interacting with you at all. You either give me my punishment and get me the fuck out of here, or let me go. Like, you know what I mean? Like, one of these ways. Either one of these ways, I'm walking out the door, but I'm not talking to you anymore.
I do have to add on to Kimmy. She was saying that she's like he acts like such a normal student. And
that was Mitch.
Oh, that was you. Sorry, yeah. I remember like someone said it, and we were all like going back and forth real fast. But I have to applaud Harry for that. I'm going to be 33 next month, and there are people at work I can't stand. And anytime I have to deal with them, I'm like, just quit already.
Like,
and the fact that he's just like, yeah. And he's just dealing normally with Snape, and I'm like, that's impressive, because...
To be perfectly honest,
would not be me.
Harry's got the patience of a fucking saint, and anytime he has to deal with
13!
Snape. I know! That's the wild part. Like, to be perfectly freaking honest, though, like, the lines where they're insulting Snape are honestly my favorite part of this whole chapter.
Yes.
Moody compliments Professor Snape and begs him to keep his abnormally large nose out of other people's businesses. Mr. Prongs agreed. I'd like to add that Professor Snape is an ugly git.
I love that it starts with Mooney.
Matt Padfoot would like to erase his astonishment that an idiot like that ever became a professor. That does imply, though, that they know who he is before he became a professor, though. That Snape has in fact had a run-in. And if Harry had a couple more brain cells, he might be like, wait, these guys seem kind of familiar. Do you know who these guys are? I'm kind of curious now.
I know you.
Yeah, like, did you run into these guys a bit or something? And then Snape's going to be on the back foot because now Harry's asking the questions. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Remus,
was this my dad?
Remus, the smooth talker, would be like, clearly this is a joke from Zonko's, and when you touch it with your wand, it senses bits of your personality to be able to...
Maybe it can kind of see you. I don't know. Maybe they're just generic insults. I don't know, Snape. Is your hair slimy?
Do you have an abnormally large nose?
Shut the fuck up.
Are you impressed you became a professor?
Snape. I mean, idiot's a pretty general insult, so like...
But idjit's a term of endearment.
Dude,
sometimes.
Remus,
your name's Bobby.
Lupin is a fucking pro, though, throughout this whole conversation. Like...
He had to deal with those motherfuckers in school. He had to practice at some point. Plus, he has to practice deflecting because he's a fucking werewolf. How else is he going to deflect this?
I know why he's this good, but it's still impressive just how casually he just sweeps all of Snape's complaints aside. Like, he's just sort of like...
You called, Snape?
Yeah.
Like, not like I was busy or anything.
Jesus. I like, I love it. It's like, Harry, do you know any of these men? Harry, looking directly at one of the men. No. I have no idea who these people are.
I'm sorry. So you guys are talking about Mooney, like, or Remus, obviously being like, he can just smooth talk this shit his whole time, and can we just back up a minute and talk about the fact that Remus told Harry with half a glance, "Shut up and hold my beer."
Oh, yeah.
Like, not a single word of exchange. Harry, shut the fuck up. I'm getting you out of this. Shut the fuck up. I love that detail and everything.
Oh, yes. Ronald, Harry, we've got to go talk about my essay. Let's go.
What the hell was Ron doing?
Wow, yeah,
Ron was just extra to defense. Ron is...
No. With Ron
No, why did it take him so long?
That too, but also with Ron booking it that far to come help is way more suspicious.
The fact that he
that
knew.
far out of breath, it just confirms that Malfoy was right.
Yeah, if Draco got back to the castle that fast
before Harry did, and
They
had time.
Fuck took Ron that long.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on, wait.
That might have been part of it, though. He may have intentionally been looking through the castle trying to find Harry.
Are you a fucking mind reader?
Oh.
I am married to you.
Literally gonna say, now hold on, wait a minute. They were going down 3 flights of stairs. Ron probably was like,
That cat on
Harry?
your shirt looks absolutely disgusted for some reason.
It's cute.
Is that Peter Pettigrew?
No!
Is that Peter Pettigrew?
No,
You mean
that's Yuki.
Oh, the rat?
Yeah, the rat.
She's got a fruits basket shirt on.
I'm being intentionally obtuse because I know it's going to piss her off. I know what I'm doing.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
He says that, but I don't think he ever knows.
Oh, come on. I had a smile on my face.
I'm so sorry I'm gonna add on to this, but Shigure looks like you're serious, because he's also kind of
a black dog.
Down
Does that make Toru? Does that make her fucking prongs? Like, what the hell?
The one sensible person.
She is not the sensible person of the group.
No.
It's no. It's levels here. She is not sensible person, but compared to the rest of these three, she is.
Wait,
moving the
talking
goalposts.
about the characters on her shirt, because
we just totally forgot about Lupin too. Because I'm like, wait, I was counting Crookshanks as one of the. Anyway, we should probably wrap this up.
You've got places to go and everything. I wouldn't mind.
Oh wait, we end with the results of the hearing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and of course, Buckbeak lost.
Yeah, I'm not really shocked on that one. To be honest, though, I am kind of bummed that you couldn't stay longer. I wanted to talk a little bit more about the new casting choices and stuff.
Well, we can say
We have a few minutes, or we can talk about it next week.
We can talk about it next time, but Molly Weasley and Draco, the Dursleys, have also been casted, with the exception of Dudley. He hasn't been casted. I can't think of anybody else.
And Tom Felton got cast as Draco Malfoy in the next rendition of The Cursed Child.
I'm kind of surprised, but his making his debut is kind of wild. I honestly am a little bummed if he doesn't get brought back in for the TV show as Lucius, because he looks like Lucius now in terms of his overarching.
He still could be.
He really could.
We also want to just reminder to everybody that even though we are doing this podcast and we are talking about the show and everything, we do not support J.K. Rowling. She is a TERF. She's an awful person.
But she also has no choices when it comes to the actual casting and stuff. Apparently some fans have bothered her about firing Papanamoidia, or whatever his name is, the actor playing Snape. Yeah, she's apparently gone on record saying she is incapable of she's not in charge of casting. She cannot cancel anyone. She can't get rid of anybody. I have heard rumors that there was some rumors that that he was gonna get fired. I personally think that would be bad optics. It's too late. He's been officially hired in. He is Snape, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. It's not too late, but
it would just look bad.
I feel like firing him at this point would just be bad at this point. You know what I mean? It would just make it worse at this point. If he goes out on record saying he quit because of all of the pressure and stuff, that's a horse of a different color.
That almost looks bad too.
No, him getting bullied out means he gets to bow out without the company being
gracefully.
yeah. You know what I mean?
As gracefully as he can.
But I'm gonna be honest, a 10-year project and everything where you're getting paid for it, I'd be hard pressed to want to give that up myself, to be honest.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll wrap things up here. Plug your shit.
Luna's Creation Corner.
Plug your shit.
Brandywine Stitches on YouTube or Hacktown Candle Co. on the rest of it.
Plugging my shit. Call Sanders, Twitch, Monday, Wednesday, late at night, very irregular. Have fun playing video games. Anyway, keep your wands at the ready.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.
We're talking over each other so much and it's fun as hell.
Yeah, because you're like hitting 6th gear trying to get out of here.